On a building's upper level, a worker in a red shirt walks dangerously close to an unprotected edge. There are no guardrails or safety lines in place. In a moment of distraction, he takes a step back without looking, misjudging his position, and plummets to the ground. This tragic fall highlights why fall protection is non-negotiable when working at heights. Any open edge requires guardrails or the mandatory use of personal fall arrest systems. Engineering controls are far more reliable than relying on situational awareness alone. At another construction site, a worker standing on a concrete ledge attempts to cross a gap using a single, unsecured wooden plank as a bridge. The instant he transfers his weight onto the plank, it flips and gives way beneath him, causing him to fall. This incident is a stark reminder of the dangers of using makeshift walkways. All temporary platforms must be properly engineered, secured at both ends, and load-rated to prevent catastrophic failure. In a large industrial yard, a forklift operator moves a large bin that completely obstructs his forward view. Meanwhile, two workers walk through the active vehicle area, seemingly oblivious to the moving machinery. As the forklift makes a wide turn, the operator, blind to the pedestrian directly in his path, strikes the man and runs him over. His colleague can only watch in horror. This devastating incident reveals multiple critical safety failures. Operators must never travel with a load that obstructs their view. If unavoidable, they must travel in reverse or use a spotter. Furthermore, dedicated, clearly marked pedestrian walkways must be established to segregate people from heavy machinery. From a scooter's point of view, we see the rider following a large cement mixer on a narrow road bordered by a rock face. The rider makes the dangerous decision to overtake on the right shoulder, where there is no lane. The space rapidly narrows, leading to a direct collision with the rock wall. This illustrates a vital traffic safety rule. Never overtake a large vehicle on the right, especially in a non-designated lane due to massive blind spots. A female worker in a red safety vest stands near a large industrial mixing machine, placing her hand on it. Without warning, the machine begins to move forward. She's instantly knocked off her feet and pulled underneath the heavy equipment. The primary failure here is a lack of a proper lockout-tagout procedure. Before any maintenance or interaction in the immediate vicinity of such machinery, it must be de-energized and locked out to prevent unexpected startup. Inside a textile factory, a man is operating a large warping machine with a massive rotating beam. As he works near the intake, his clothing gets caught by the powerful roller. He is instantly pulled off his feet and violently spun around as he's dragged into the machinery. His co-workers rush to stop the machine, but the incident has already occurred. This horrific accident underscores the danger of wearing loose clothing around rotating equipment. Furthermore, machines of this type must have emergency stops within easy reach and proper guarding to prevent any possibility of contact with moving parts. In a steel warehouse, a worker stands directly underneath a massive coil of sheet metal being moved by an overhead crane. Suddenly, the clamp holding the multi-ton roll fails, and the coil drops, instantly crushing the man below. This is an absolute violation of the most basic overhead lifting rule. Never, under any circumstances, position yourself under a suspended load. Safe zones must be clearly established and enforced. At an excavation site, several workers are standing perilously close to the edge of a deep pit while an excavator works above them. The operator swings the bucket, either misjudging the distance or not seeing the worker below, and knocks one man directly into the excavation. This highlights a severe lack of communication and site control. Workers on foot should never be in the swing radius of heavy equipment. and operators must ensure their path is clear before moving. In a heavy manufacturing plant, workers are gathered around a massive engine assembly being lifted by an overhead crane. The rigging suddenly gives way, and the entire multi-ton apparatus crashes to the floor, shattering on impact and narrowly missing several people. The incident was caused by a catastrophic rigging failure. All lifting equipment, including slings and shackles, must be inspected before each use and rated for a weight far exceeding the load. A crane operator lowers a large bundle of sacks into an open pit in a factory floor. A female worker stands on the edge to guide the load. As the heavy bundle swings, its momentum pushes her off balance, and she falls backward into the hole. Workers should never use their bodies to directly guide a suspended load. Taglines should always be used to control the load from a safe distance, away from fall hazards. Two technicians are working on a large CNC machine. As one of them leans in and touches a component, he receives a severe electrical shock, causing him to convulse and collapse. This points to either damaged wiring or a failure to properly de-energize and lock out the machine before beginning service work. Inside what appears to be a paper recycling facility, a worker is manually pushing material into the opening of a large industrial pulper. He leans too far over the unguarded opening, loses his footing, and is instantly pulled into the powerful machine. A large plume of dust and steam erupts from the machine. This tragedy was entirely preventable. The machine's feed opening must have been equipped with proper guarding and a feed system, like a conveyor belt, to eliminate the need for any worker to be near the point of operation. A worker wearing a hard hat walks backward into the path of a reversing cement mixer truck. The driver, likely unable to see him in the blind spot, continues to back up, striking the man and knocking him to the ground. All large vehicles must be equipped with backup alarms, and drivers should use a spotter when reversing in areas with pedestrian traffic. Pedestrians, in turn, must remain aware of their surroundings. A worker enters the safety enclosure of a large industrial robotic arm while it is still operational. The robot activates, moving swiftly along its programmed path, and pins the man against a stationary part of the cell. Safety interlocks on gates are designed to prevent this. They must never be bypassed. In a garage, two mechanics are working on a large, inflated truck tire that is not in a safety cage. The tire suddenly explodes with catastrophic force, throwing both men across the workshop. Inflating large tires must always be done within a reinforced safety cage to contain the explosive energy in case of a blowout. A worker stands next to a flatbed trailer heavily loaded with stacked steel I-beams. The load, which is not properly secured, suddenly shifts and slides off the side of the trailer, burying the man underneath. All heavy loads must be secured with appropriate chains or straps to prevent any movement during transport or unloading.